And we are back. Welcome to another brand new prediction series. This is going to be my Olympics predictions for both the men's and the women's football taking place in Paris over the course of the next 3 weeks. And what we're going to do is we're going to split the videos into two. We will have the men's football predictions one day and we'll have the women's football predictions on another day to keep them all separated because, of course, the matches are on different days for the men and the women. We're putting this video out a day early because it just gives you guys access to the video early, and then we will be doing the women's video ahead of their matches on Thursday morning. So you'll have 2 days to watch this video, and obviously then the women's video will come out earlier on the morning of Thursday before their games kick off. But before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here so you don't miss out on any of the predictions we have got coming up for you over the course of the next 3 weeks, as not only we do the Paris Games, but we do look ahead to the new football season starting at the end of the Olympics as well. And without any further ado, let's get into it. It's the men's football at the Olympics starting tomorrow, which means it is match day 1. And I'm not going to do it in actual runtime order because if you think UEFA do their groups in a weird order, just tomorrow's men's and even Thursday's women's, they're just putting matches at completely random times. So I'm just going to do Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D. Much easier, much more well organised so you guys can see it properly. And also you have to remember that this is under 23s only, with only 3 players allowed to play over the age of 23 at the Olympics. This is not the full first teams for these countries. This is not even the under 21s. It is under 23s plus 3 over-aged players. And we'll start off in Group A, and the first game in Group A is between Guinea and New Zealand. And when you look at the squads for these two sides, there really isn't too much between them. Neither of them really have any sort of like massive names that I would say in their squads respectively. Probably the biggest name across both squads would be Naby Keita, the former Liverpool player that didn't really hit the heights that people expected him to. And in terms of like actual structure, this, that and the other, I would probably say the New Zealand side just edges it in terms of organisation. There's a lot of players that play for Wellington Phoenix in New Zealand, but again, you're kind of relying on local players only for both of these sides, other than the odd couple dotted around Europe. So for me, tough to split this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw to start off Group A. The other game sees France taking on the United States. And for the US, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought the US would chuck in a fair few more big names in the Olympics, but they haven't. Maybe because of the group they drew. Maybe they just didn't think they'd do that well, so they didn't want to put any big names in. The French, of course, we all know what they've got available to them. Some big names in there. The likes of Alexandre Lacazette being called up as one of the overage players. Thierry Henry, obviously, is the manager. But when you go through that squad, you can see there is an awful lot of talent available to them. I think the expectation is that the French will win all 3 of their games in this group, which will start with them beating America on the opening day. I'm going to go for 3-0 to the French. I really don't see the Americans causing them any problems at all. And again, you look at that French backline, the likes of Bade, etc. It's going to be pretty comfortable for the French, in my opinion. That then brings us on to Group B, where we find Argentina taking on Morocco. Now, these two sides, again, have some players that you're going to recognise. Morocco have called up arguably their best player, which is, of course, Achraf Hakimi of Paris Saint-Germain. He is going to be their superstar going into this tournament. For Argentina, it's kind of incredible that they've called up Julian Alvarez and Nicolas Otamendi off the back of full seasons for Benfica and Manchester City respectively. Then certainly in the case of Alvarez, full Copa Americas. Yes, Otamendi was more of a bit part player at the Copa America this time around, but both of them have been called up to this, so be interested to see if they play. But outside of that, again, Argentina have some really good, talented players in that squad that I'm very interested to see, some of which have already been linked with moves to Europe this summer. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Argentina. I think Morocco are definitely capable of getting something in terms of a goal from the game, but ultimately, with that quality that Argentina have, I would expect them to get the win. The other game in Group B sees Iraq taking on Ukraine, and again, little bit disappointed not to see a couple more superstars for either side, respectively. They both have players that are relatively well known around Europe, and neither side have really called anyone up. So when you look at the teams individually, I think Iraq are probably the stronger of the two. So I don't really have too much more to say about this one. I don't have a lot of information about the players that are there, more who they play for and the expectations off of that. So I'm going to go for 2-1 to Iraq, but that's a really dodgy one to call in my opinion. But I just think Iraq edge it in terms of quality. That then brings us to Group C, where it is Uzbekistan taking on Spain in the opener there. And, well, there's no Yamin Yamal for Spain, but they've still got Fermin and Kubica and a couple of other Barcelona youngsters, a few PSG players in there, a couple of Real Madrid youngsters in there. For Uzbekistan, they have called up Shomurodov, the Roma forward that did do so well for Uzbekistan over the last couple of years. Ultimately, though, again, you look at Spain, you look at what they produce at the Euros, and you think that these are the players that couldn't get in that squad, and you just think that Spain are going to be far too strong in this tournament for Uzbekistan here. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Spain in their group opener. The other game in Group C sees Egypt taking on the Dominican Republic. And for Egypt, their big name, should I say big name with the greatest respect to him, is of course Mohamed El-Neni, the former Arsenal midfielder. For the Dominican Republic, they have got themselves Junior Firpo, the former Barcelona, current Leeds United player. And again, outside of those two players, it's actually, I think, the Dominican Republic that have players scattered around in more recognisable leagues. They have a few players, again, from Spain, most notably a couple from Real Madrid's youth team, a couple from Girona, a couple from Getafe, whereas Egypt are basically just relying on players from Egypt. There's not many from outside of local play. A lot of them do play for the top two sides in Egypt, but again, I don't really know how much of a marker that really is. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here. A lot of people are expecting Egypt to win this one, but from what I can see of the players available, I think Dominican Republic could spring a surprise here and potentially even get the win. That then brings us on to Group D. The first game there is between Japan and Paraguay. And look, Japan, very, very strong side on their day. Unfortunately for them, a lot of their players that were their young talents have now progressed through to the first team, the likes of Doan, the likes of Kubo, Tomiyasu, etc., etc. There's a few others that I have forgotten there, but they're still performing well. They came runners-up in the Under-23 tournament in Asia this summer already, or last summer, should I say. For Paraguay, all their hopes were apparently going to be on Julio Enciso, the Brighton youngster, who, as Premier League fans, we all know is very talented. And even now, I don't have any actual confirmation if Enciso is going or not. I've seen so many reports saying that he's going to be playing and so many other reports saying he's not going to play. He is officially named in the Paraguay squad for the Olympics, but he's then not in the squad on FootMob. He was confirmed as not going in the BBC report. So I'm not going to say Enciso alone would be the difference for Paraguay if he was available, but very, very weird to see so many conflicting reports on that. I'm going off the assumption that Enciso is not going to be there, which would mean that ultimately Japan have become very strong favourites, and I'm going to go for 2-0 to Japan. I probably would have gone for 2-1 if Enciso was there. I still think Japan on paper are the stronger side. And then finally, it is Mali taking on Israel in the final game of day one at the Men's Olympics. And again, not really too many players stand out for me for either of these sides. Probably the most notable one is for Mali, where you have Boubacar Traore from Wolves, who did have a few games last season. For Israel, I think it would have been nice to see someone like Eren Zahavi called up for them as one of their overage players. But again, no real recognised players for Israel, which to me suggests that Mali are just going to be the stronger side going into this one. There's a few names from a few relatively good European clubs in there. So for me, Mali should be the team that take this one, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Mali to round off my day one predictions at the Men's Olympics. But this is the challenge. It's going to be really tough to predict this first day. I think once we've seen the matches that take place tomorrow, we'll then have a better idea of what sides are stronger than the others going into the second round, the third round, and then, of course, the knockouts. But this is how I see it, basically purely based on the teams that these countries have selected. Who do you think is going to be taking the Olympic gold this time around? Thank you very much for watching. As always, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. I will see you on Thursday morning, where we will do it again for the women's opening matches.